and welcome to Doodle with Della, and this is lesson 6. Welcome along, and I'm here. Hello, how wonderful for you to join me today. If you want to doodle along with me, it's most encouraged. So just you need a bit of plain paper and a black pen today. That's all you need. So I'm just going to give a couple of minutes just to let people join before we get started. And I'm just going to say I'm filming the lesson on my iPad, but I do watch along on my phone as well. So that if you've got any questions during the live video while you're doodling, feel free to ask, and I can answer your questions live. There we go. Hello Sarah, I can now see who's watching. It's only certain names that come up. So if you are watching along, do say hello in the comments, let me know where you're watching, and maybe you're doodling along, and then at the end of the lesson, so once I've posted the finished video, you'll be able to add pictures of your doodles into the comments, but unfortunately when it's live you can't add a picture comment. So yes, do give me some thumbs up, let me know you're watching, that'll be fab. Yes, and we'll get started. So this week is week 6, and so on Monday I released grid number 6, which is a free worksheet that you can download from my website. And so it's got 4 new doodles on it that we're going to be looking at today, and I've had some lovely help from my Instagram followers and Facebook followers in naming these doodles, because I'm running out of imagination to name them all. But you're helping, which is fantastic. I've also been looking up today, I don't know if you've noticed the sort of pulsing effect on the video. I think Facebook have changed the settings. I'm trying to work out how to stop the autofocus, so apologies if it makes you feel a little bit dizzy, but I'll try and keep it all. I'll try not to move too much, but yes, when I'm doodling it all takes a while to focus. But yes, it was always an option that you could do, but now I think they've taken it away, so I've been looking at YouTube videos trying to work out how to fix it. But yes, if you know any solutions out there, or know anyone that I could ask, do please get in touch, and hopefully I'll get that sorted. So yes, do say hello in the comments, let me know you're watching, and if you've got any questions, ask along. So this week the lesson is complex doodles part 2. So the idea is that I'm going to take this doodle in particular, the pie crust. Takes a little bit of explaining to do, and a bit of practice to get right. So I'll be talking you through that in detail, and that will take up our session. I've also got Hope, my large artwork, which I will be adding some more doodles to. Let me show you how she's looking now. There she is. So yeah, it's coming together. So I've got that. I'll add a few more doodles for that at the end, and then I'll do some more time-lapse videos, and hopefully she'll be finished by the end of the course, which is in 2 weeks' time. So yeah, so if you're available on, so I've got next Saturday will be week 7, and then the Saturday after, the 13th of June, will be our graduation party, which will be lots of fun, and we'll have a little celebration here and on Facebook Lives during the day. Yes, I hope you can join me for that too. Right then, so let's have a look at these doodles. So we're going to start off with twisted ribbons, one on the top. So what I'll do is I'm going to talk you through how to do these 4 doodles, and then the idea of the grid is to take the 2 doodles, one on the top, one on the side, and create a new doodle in this empty squares that combines the 2 doodles. So here we go. So the twisted ribbons. So the twisted ribbon starts off with, so you draw one wavy line, going from left to right, left to right. And then what you want to do is draw your second line, and you want it to be so a contrast to that one. So where it's on the left, that side, you want to be on the right, and then when it's on the right, you want to be on the left. So it doesn't have to be too accurate. It's like a double helix style thing. So they can all be different. They don't have to be match each other. Might take a little bit of practice to get that left-right working. I'll do one more. There we go. And then so once you've done that, you can colour in every other twist. So I'm going to switch to a thicker pen. I'll switch to a 0.8 so that the nib's slightly thicker, so it just makes it a bit quicker colouring bits. So the idea, like what it makes is sort of the optical illusion is that imagine a strip of ribbon that's black on one side and white on the other, and so that twisting effect means that you're seeing one side and the other. So it just makes it pop a bit more. So you can start by picking any one to colour in, and then if you want to just, it's quite easy just to do alternate ones, but if you want to completely switch off, then you can just put a mark in each one that you're going to do. So, and then when you've got the next line, just look at ways that whether it's going to be, if you want it to be in line, but you'll have different numbers of twists and turns. So just have a think about which ones you want to do. Do that one, that one, that's quite nicely spread out. So once you've got the dots, then you can switch off and just know that you're colouring in the ones that you've decided. Colour them into the end. I'll just do a couple more. So yeah, so do have a go while you're watching. There we go. And you can complete the rest of those ones. Excellent. So that's the first one. So I'll call that one Twisted Ribbons. Now this next one I didn't have a name for, but two people, can't remember who it was, I'll look back, two people fed back to me independently on Instagram, my Instagram stories, to call it decking. So I was like, okay then. I think that if two people call it that, that's I had a few other options as well, but I love the fact that they both came in on their own back and both called it decking. So this one will be called decking. So this one starts as a simple cross. Now what I've done to this one, I've actually done it on the diagonal in this square, but you could do it straight, horizontal and vertical. So you start with one straight line, and then your next straight line is perpendicular to this one. Like that. So an experiment, once you've mastered it this way round, have a look at doing it in different angles. I do believe it'll work, just have a different effect. So what we do, we're going to draw each section first, so each quadrant. So you start here, and from the centre bit you're going to leave a gap, so however thick you want these the lines to be. Move that a bit closer so you can see that as well. So you can start from the centre and draw out, and then the next thing, so you have to rotate it every time. So the next one comes from this one, it starts a chunk go along. So that controls how big you want your decking slats to be. So, and then rotate it round and do the same on this side, and this side, and then you just keep going until you fill the whole space. Okay. So that's one, you've done one square, and then the next square, what you're going to do is start from, I don't know how to explain it. So basically you want to start from the side you haven't already, so this one starts here, so you're not going to start it on that line, you're going to start it on the other line. That gives you a clear line, and then the same this side, and for this side, and this side, and so yes, it's just that start. It's just the starting of each four. It's just when you have to think about it. So again, move around and leave that side clear. Go that way. And then the last one, so if you rotate it every time, it's the same direction each way, but what you end up with is like a windmill effect in the centre, where your four starting lines, none of them meet, they're all coming off from one side. It's up to you how close you do the lines together. I can just finish this one off. Give you a chance to catch up if you're doodling at home. So it's quite unusual to be doodling in a square like this. We talked a couple of weeks ago about doodling in different shapes and sections, and like I'm doing with the hope piece, like every section is an odd shape. So this one you just take the lines out to the outer edges each time. So that initial line's quite short now. Excellent, so that's the decking. What I'm going to do the sea, well, this one, because I've named this one Sea Bubbles, which I believe was Kelly on Facebook, you know, and so this one starts with drawing the bubbles first. So draw your circles, it can be different sizes and spaced out. The more circles you have, the more complex the doodle is. So if you're practicing, you might want to keep fewer circles to start off with. Okay. We'll do one more. Okay, now we're going to draw the wavy lines behind them. So it's similar in the way. We did this. Oh, on the Kaplunk one last week, week before the Kaplunk one. You're drawing lines, and then when you get to the circle, you stop, and then keep drawing off the other side. So you've got to continue the flow of the line through, and imagine how the line would curve and bend. And my best tip for this, I think, whenever you're drawing wavy lines, if you're drawing one after the other, they have the tendency to like flatten out, or at least I find. So the best tip for this one is to start with a line through the middle, and then you can work from both ways out. So we're going to start with a wavy line. Going through. And then replicating that same wave for the next one. Yeah, I have to concentrate on this one. I go quiet. I do find it difficult to keep the waves. And then you can rotate. See how different the first line is to these ones. It all works. It goes with the flow of it. But it's nice to come back to a wavy line. Oh, that one didn't hit any bubbles. A lot easier. So if you wanted to, on this one, if you've practiced drawing your wavy lines, you could draw the wavy lines in pencil. So do the circles first, draw all the wavy lines in pencil, and then go over them with a pen. So sorry, your pencil lines can go through the circles. You don't have to worry about them. And then when you go back with pen, you only draw. There's actually no wave there at all. When you go back through with pen, you only draw on around the circles and not on the circles. That's good. So that's not. So the autofocus is struggling. Apologies. Excellent. Yeah, so I wouldn't be. So the autofocus is annoying because it gives you that kind of pulsing. But it's also quite slow to actually get the focus. So, all right, and I'm going to draw the pie crust. So it's a lovely 3D effect. This one, I like. So the pie crust is like strips of pastry going up and over each other, but you don't draw it like that. You draw it in quite a structured step-by-step way, and it's only as you put the final lines in, it's like, oh, it's there. It does work. So, and it can go wrong. This is I feel like with the dots and S's we did last week, although the style wise you might perfect it a few times, but generally speaking the structure is the same. Like you can't go too wrong, whereas this one is like you can easily draw a line in the wrong place, but that doesn't mean that you need to start again, or that it's wrong, or it's Doodle's not going to work. Remember about expanding. Actually, I've got an example of one I went wrong. So if you do go wrong, you can put it to one side for today because we're learning how to do this one. But on a real doodle, don't panic about it, because you can whatever line you've done wrong, keep adding that same wrong line, and all you get is a different pattern. And it works. It's all, you're repeating the pattern, so you just end up with a different doodle, which can be quite fun. So anyway, we start off with the pie crust. We're going to start off with a grid of squares. Okay, so you draw. Actually, I'm just going to draw them all first, and I'll come back and colour them in. So you want to keep them. Aim to have them in line, so that all the tops are in line, all the bottoms are in line, and a similar distance apart. Okay, I'll do 4 over. I hope that'll be, I think that will be big enough to give you an idea. So I recommend colouring these in straight away because it just takes sort of a level of confusion away when you're trying to put in the other lines, because you know these are the squares and you know they're going to be coloured in black, so you're not getting distracted by them being possible lines or bits that have gone wrong, or it will take a little bit of time to colour them in. So again, I've moved up to a thicker pen. So even if you've got like a black Sharpie, you could probably just do a little dot on each one and then just go around and fill in the bits around the edges. Or you can take your time and just enjoy doing this part of the doodle, because there's no rush. It's not like you're trying to do it on a live video. This is one of the doodles I did. I've done some mini events on some local business networking groups. I've done. This is one of the ones I showed them how to make with a doodle and wine evening. So I was making this to quite a large audience with a glass of wine. So it's just, stress levels are there. Okay, so once you've coloured in your grid, we're then going to start drawing the lines. So we're going to join them together by a series of lines, and there is a repetitive pattern to it, so you don't have to think, like, you don't have to look at this and try and recreate it. If you take it step by step, it will appear. Okay, so we'll start off with a column of squares, and what we're going to do is join one side, so the right hand side of one to the right hand side, the one underneath, like that. And then underneath, we're going to switch sides and go to the left. After that, we're going to switch to the right. So it doesn't matter if you start with left or right or not, but you're just doing that alternating from the left to the right to the left. I did that the way around, didn't I? But yeah, you get the gist all the way down. And then the next column, what you're going to do, you're going to do the opposite. So it's like a mirror. So it's as if there's a mirror going through here, and you're going to do the opposite side. So we'll start with the left this time, and then we'll go out to the right, to the left. And then the next column, again, as if there's a mirror there, you're just copying that pattern. In, out, and again, out. There we are. And then at this point, I recommend, assuming you've got a shape that you're doodling, I know we're just doing it on plain paper at the moment, but assuming you're doodling within a shape, what you want to do is extend each line, each column, with the lines that would happen if there was more dots. So it's worth doing that now because it gets a bit confusing once you've turned it around. So you know which side to go. That way, that way, that way. And you can just about sort of see that under and over effect coming. So what we're going to do is rotate it 90 degrees, and then we're going to do the same, and we're going to go down this column instead. So we're going to do each column this way around. So it's the same pattern, left and right, but we just need to know which way to start it first. So that's once you've decided that, then the rest falls together. So to work out where you want to start it, basically on each square, you want one line coming out of each corner and never two. So that means that it can't be that one on the right because there'd be two lines coming out of there and there. So it has to be the other side. So now we know that that's on the left hand side of those two. We switch over to the right, back to the left, and then again we're doing the mirror, so as if there's a mirror in the middle. We'll go on the outside of that one, then the inside, the outside, and then again with a mirror. So we'll go on the inside, slightly off then. I'll explain more about that in a sec, how to fix those bits. And that side, the outside, the inside, the outside. Excellent. And at the same time you want to just do your little line extensions on the top and the bottom. I feel like while you're in that zone of being able to see that left-right pattern, once it's all filled in like this, I find I quite quickly, I can't see anything but the pie crust doodle. Excellent. So there we have it. So you can see that image. What I then tend to do is try and neaten it up a little bit. So you saw I did it here, so I thicken the lines so that the edge of each line is hitting the square. So what you don't want is the square to be bigger than the pastry, if that makes sense. So if you've gone over, just need to make the line a little bit thicker so that you incorporate the very edge of the square. And then where I've done that mistake there, well, I fixed it, but it's quite a thick line now. If you've got it on a small area and you've got the time, if you just thicken other lines, it becomes less apparent and just looks like a thick bit of pastry with a big shadow. Wonderful. And we're going to talk more next week about adding some shading to doodles, especially ones like this where there is a sort of a 3D effect. It really brings them to life, and also doodles that presumably look very flat, but when you add some shading in, they take on a real 3D style. So yes, so that'll be next Saturday. We'll be looking at those kind of extra levels, layers we can add to our finished doodles. Excellent. So what I'm going to do now is I've had so Helen has sent me her grid 6, and I'm going to find somewhere to add her doodles onto from this week. Let's have a look. I've got it saved on my phone. That's a little bit spooky, Helen. She's just popped up as watching on my on my phone. But yes, Helen, we're going to have a look at your doodles. Ooh. Right, so here we are. So, oh, that's it, because you ran out of printer ink, didn't you? So you've done double lots of homework. So you've drawn out the doodles on a piece of paper and created your own grid. Beautiful work. Ooh, what one shall we do? Oh, I think I quite like this circle. The circle crisscross. So it's got twisted ribbons coming down from the top with lines in the middle. Ooh, okay, I might not create it the same way that you created it, Helen. And we'll see where we get to. I think I need a nice big area to add this one in. Where shall we go? Oh, let's bring it in. I've got enough room. I'm going to use this section here. Let me just check that you can see that okay. Oh, it's late again. That's fine, Helen. Not a problem. You're just in time. So I'm going to start by drawing a wavy grid. Sorry, I've got a frame, the frame set up for the holding the iPad. It means that I can't move the paper, the 12 by 12 paper very easily in here. Right, and then waves going the other way. Maybe just one there, and there probably won't be another one on that side. Sorry for banging the mic. So now, do I want to do twisted ribbons? Yeah, coming down from the top. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw each side of these on the lines going from top to bottom. A few more to do. Reminds me of like the centre of marbles. And they've got the swirl of glass, I assume, in the middle. Plastic. Reminds me of that. Okay, so she's got those, and then we've got a circle on these ones. I think I might just, I'm going to use a filler pen just to bring some different interest to it. So on each of the lines going from left to right, I'm going to add a circle to it. Ah, that's a different section. I will incorporate that dot in the doodle that goes there. Excellent, I think that's all of them. So now I'm going to colour in half of every shape I've created. And the top to bottom is alternating, which I quite like. So we go from the left hand side, then the right hand side, and the left hand side. So when I get to the edge, I'm just making sure I get a nice crisp finish. I'm going to change the side, so I'll go that way, that way, that way. And then this side. Couple more to do, and then I'll add in the circles. So excellent. So I'm going to have grid number 7 for you on Monday morning. That'll be available to download off my website. And I was mentioning earlier, Helen, that the next Saturday we'll be looking at adding some pencil shading into the doodles. I'll give you guys some more information about what are the best things to use, types of pencils, and how to make some 3D doodles. Well, actually the doodle we have already made, but adding the pencil to them, make them 3D. Excellent. Hope you can see that there. So I was slightly off the page. Beautiful. I think I've done all the steps from that one. I've just got a little bit more spaced out. Unlike me, I normally try and do it very small and cram it all in. So beautiful. Thank you very much, Helen. Excellent. So what I'm going to do is I will continue to add some more doodles to Hope. I'll incorporate some of the ones from this week in here. I think I might have used some before. Oh yes, I've got my pie crust up there. Yes, I'll keep adding it in. I'll film it in a time-lapse video, and I'm stitching them all together to get the whole artwork from start to finish, which will be quite exciting. And then I think I need to add the face in. You can see that I've got it in pencil, if it's clear enough to see. But I'm going to go over it in pen, just a simple line, sort of cartoony style eye and eyebrow. So yes, I need to do that this weekend, I believe, and then hopefully in a couple of weeks' time she'll be finished, and might have to go and get a frame and put her up on the wall, which would be excellent. So thank you ever so much for joining me today. You can fill in the grids and send them across to me. If you want to tag them with Doodle with Della with the hashtag, I'll be able to find them on Instagram or Facebook, and I can share them in my gallery on my website. Wonderful. Thank you very much. Have a lovely week. I'll speak to you soon.